What's up? All right, we're here. Friday. What is going on? Hope you guys are having the best day of your entire motherfucking lives. It's going to be a good time. You guys know the drill. Really quick, if you're watching this and you want to learn how to get into the best shape of your life forever, then come join our free masterclass on Tuesday, 7 p.m., May 21st. Join, be there, or be square. It is totally free. Joey, what's up, motherfucker? Cardio Q&A. Okay, cool. Pinned. What's up, bitches? If you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, I want you guys to know Tuesday, May 21st at 7 p.m., we are hosting our very first masterclass. Totally free on Zoom, 30 minutes. You come in, you learn some shit. Okay, we're going to teach you guys, pulling back the curtain, how to do this shit forever. For life. If you're on a fitness journey right now, right, maybe you're somebody who wants more energy, more confidence, right? And you're like, dude, I don't get it. I'm doing all this shit. It's not working. Maybe this shit isn't for me. I'm ready to give up. Just come hang out. Fill out the registration. It's on my story. Check my Instagram story. You can tap the link. It takes 2 minutes to fill out. We had a bunch of you guys sign up already. We're super excited. It's going to be a great time. Sophia signed up. It's going to be awesome. Check my story on Instagram, tap the link, fill it out. Tuesday, May 21st, 7 p.m. Be there, 30-minute masterclass. It's totally free. I mean, what's the worst case scenario? You come join the class and you learn absolutely nothing. I mean, I don't really see that happening. But worst case, you spend 20 minutes, you listen to me talk, and you learn absolutely nothing. Probably not going to happen, right? Is boxing bag a good form of cardio? For sure. Actually, I boxed for a little bit. It was a good time, but with me now transitioning into bodybuilding, felt like boxing didn't really make sense because, you see UFC fighters, they're very lean. They don't really have a lot of muscle mass because it's very cardio, endurance, lasts a lot of rounds. You need to make sure you keep your hands up and all that shit. So bodybuilding is the complete opposite. Like I'm basically just a fucking statue that just stands there, So it's like complete opposite. It all depends on your goals, So if you guys just want to drop questions, I'm here to hang out. I'm here to have a good time. I'm trying to just get my steps in. Just finished up some client work here on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I'm sipping on some coffee and I'm just hanging out with you guys. TikTok, what's up? Gary, thank you for tuning in. Mike, how are you? Hope you guys are having an incredible day. Let me know if that answers your question, Upgrades. Mike, what's up, bro? Mikey Babs, what's good? Mr. Asian Boy. Is Joey Chi still in the building? Abby, what's up? How are you? What's everybody's weekend plans here for Friday? I talked about the masterclass enough. If you want more of the details, I posted it on my story. You can tap the registration. I don't want to talk about that too much. There's other things going on in our lives. I'm just going to fucking hang out. Carissa, what's up? How are you? Hope you guys are having an incredible Friday. I'm here just getting my steps in. Do you guys have a walking pad? Can you guys hear it? Maybe not. Walking pad, if you work from home, is an absolute game changer. Everyone asks me, I was like, yo, how do I get my steps in? Get a fucking walking pad. Well, why are steps beneficial? Great question. Did you guys know that moving your body more is something that is critical for not only fat loss, but also digestion, sleep, regulating your hormones, and a lot of other bodily functions? The more you know, the more you know. A lot of people focus so much on running, but running is very high stress on the joints, on your gut, on your hormones. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just like, more chill. I'm not saying running is bad. You could run all you want if you want to look like a marathon runner. If you want muscle and you want to look big, but you don't want to be fat, walking's probably better. Do I have a website? I discontinued it, I want to say. Once I rebranded, I haven't put much time into getting it back up. If you want to build me a website, go ahead. I get hundreds of DMs every single day about this copywriter and this website and this landing page. I'm over it, So if you want to build me a website, go ahead. I don't really think it's necessary. Maybe a landing page is. We put one actually together with my business partner. We're restructuring things though, so it's going to be a little different, Sam, what's good? Serena, how do you walk? How do I walk without a treadmill? Wow, well, that's a tough question. Just go outside. That can't be a real question. What's good? Mac, what's up? Nathan, what's going on? Thank you guys for tuning in. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Friday? Are you guys training today? Comment yes below if you're training. Who's getting into the gym? That's what I want to know. And if you're not coming to our masterclass next week, Tuesday, May 21st at 7 p.m., I don't know what you're doing. Free 30 minutes on Zoom. We're going to teach you guys how to stay on track for life. So if you're trying to lose body fat, create more energy, more confidence, come on down. Click the link in my story to register. It takes you 2 minutes, absolutely free, 30 minutes on Zoom. I'm just going to say that a bunch of times. I don't want to move forward and end up somewhere else. I haven't mastered walking in place yet. You know, TikTok is just a bunch of trolls sometimes. It's comical. It really is. Sophia, any questions? I'm just here to hang. If you guys have shit on your mind, cool. I was doing a lot of the live podcasting, but I've recently, like I told you guys, for those who have followed me a little bit, I've been doing my podcast like behind the scenes, try to make it a bit slower, more authentic. And, you know, sometimes with the lives, I have a tendency to rush through my thoughts and just, you know, throw a bunch of shit out there, which is not really the best. T Money Kelly, what's good? Does it look like I'm walking in place? Because, I mean, technically I am. It's a walking pad, bro. TikTok, I'm a fitness coach. So if you have fitness-related questions, training, nutrition, mindset, support, accountability, nutrition, go for it. Hit me with it. If not, I'll just respond to my clients. Because I could always do that too. Masterclass on Tuesday. Masterclass on Tuesday. Should I just start rapping? I could rap. I could come up with a topic too and give you guys a podcast. I didn't script anything for today. What is my current training split? Good question. Love that. So right now I'm currently running a push-pull leg split, but more of a focus on delts and arms. So I have a separate 2 training sessions for shoulders and arms. Then I have a pull day, push day, and then a leg. So 5 training days right now. I never train more than 3 days in a row. I always train at least 1 to 2 times and then rest. Usually that's the cadence that I have, and that's the cadence that I go with for a lot of the clients that I work with, specifically males, more advanced bodybuilding style. So it'll be like, let's say Monday, typical chest day, right? But I normally don't do that on Monday. Monday, I usually do legs. Tuesday, back, rest, shoulders, arms, rest, and then another training day. And it's usually how I break it up, give or take, depending how I feel. Does oiling up before lift increase output? You guys on TikTok are just hilarious. In what sense? Like tanning oil? Like, come on, dude. Can we keep it PG with the questions? During the weekend, no excuses, 19K steps in abs and forearms. I actually don't train my forearms. Maybe I should. Thoughts on the carnivore diet? I've never tried it. I don't really feel like it's something that is sustainable. In my eyes, all the fad diets, keto, fasting, carnivore, all this other shit, it's like all contextual based on what you want to do. If you enjoy eating meat, you don't like carbs, and you feel excuse me, and you feel really lethargic when you have types of carbohydrates, you know, try it. Like it's not like this diet is superior because of this, this, and that. It all depends on your goals, what you're trying to achieve, and why, and what you could stick to. I personally, though, don't really see long-term how you could sustain years without carbohydrates. I don't feel like it makes a lot of sense, but I think the carnivore diet is just meat and fruit, so there's a little bit in there. You know, I think eliminating a certain food group, I don't feel like it's something that somebody can stick to for that long, you know, and have it be healthy. You need protein, you need carbs, you need fats. The amounts are going to depend on the person, their experience, and where they're trying to go. So hope that makes sense. Josiah, how much cardio should you do cutting versus bulking? Bulking is going to be less. Cutting's probably more. Very simple, right? So when you're cutting, you want to consume less calories and move more. When you're bulking, you're going to be consuming more calories and moving less. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Yes, you can track your food, which I would recommend to make sure you're not putting on unnecessary body fat. People always ask me, well, is tracking really necessary? Is it something that actually makes a difference? 2,000,000%, yes. So that's the difference. Let me know if that answers that. I could take that a step further if you'd like. Sophia, what are some ways you hold yourself accountable when you don't feel like going to the gym? That's a great question. For me, it's always resorting back to why I'm doing this and thinking about the goals that I'm trying to achieve. So for me, yes, there's definitely the aesthetic part of, physically trying to uphold that. Maybe my answer is a little different and biased because I'm in the industry. A lot of what I do, I feel like, is predicated on how I look. So it's difficult in my mind to slack off in that regard because I feel very guilty. And this is something I'm working on, to be honest. I feel really guilty when I am not doing the things that I should be doing. And I know in the back of my mind that I should be. My goal right now is to go get a pro card as a bodybuilder, right? So that's going to require very extreme actions. Now, I'm not saying you have to go try to compete as a bodybuilder if you want to be extreme. You can take that however you want, right? But for this question specifically, how do you hold yourself accountable and you don't feel like it? Sometimes you just have to do shit you don't want to do. And that's the reality of it, right? Like if we talk about how you just graduated college, right? There was probably a lot of times you didn't want to study. There was probably a lot of tests you didn't want to take. But you have to do that because that's the way you get the degree. So your body is the same way. There's going to be plenty of times where you don't feel like you have to, you don't want to do it. But it's really about pushing yourself through that and practicing discipline and integrity more than anything. Because when you do that, you develop yourself into, in my eyes, a higher quality person. And that higher quality version of you is going to help push yourself into areas that you probably wouldn't have done otherwise. So that's what I would say to that. And I know we talked about this, really digging into your why of like why you're even doing it in the first place. Because if you're not connected to the deep reason why, you just want to lose a couple pounds just to do it, it's not going to be enough of a reason for you to continuously push yourself, if that makes sense. So I hope that answers your question. Am I going to compete this year? Yes. Fuck yes. I can't wait. I'm actually going to be back on stage roughly early mid to late fall, give or take, maybe the October, November range. So it's coming up. And I'm excited because I'm so tired of carrying body fat. I want to be fucking shredded again. I've been bulking for like 2 years. Mr. Asian Boy, current macros, what is the highest calories you've been on? That's another good question. Current macros right now, we actually just cut carbs in my last check-in. So right now I'm sitting at about 2,400 calories on training days, about 260 grams of protein, 210 grams of carbs, and about 60 to 70 grams of fat. And then on rest days, actually pull the carbs down even more. So carbs on rest days will be about 160 grams. Fats will be about 80. And then protein still about the same, roughly 240. Reason being for that, when I'm not training, I'm not going to need as much food to help my workouts. So we pull it down. Now, realistically, 40 carbs is literally like a cup of rice. So, carb cycling could be a very useful tool. And that's something I do for clients too, right? Is like, it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It's literally just a serving of fruit or rice pre or post workout that you manipulate on the days that you're training versus the ones that you're not. Sam, what's good? What else do I have here? Absolutely, you have to push yourself 100%. Erica, motivation is a reason to do something. You can't sit and wait for it. Yes, but also like motivation can't be the one thing you're relying on because it is an emotion. And if you're relying on motivation to carry you through, you're setting yourself up for failure because you could think of it and make the analogy of it's something similar to like the wind and the weather. Like the weathermen usually are wrong most of the time because they're kind of just like lofting it up to expectations. So if you're relying on motivation to carry you through your journey, yeah, you're probably not going to succeed or go very far, especially long term because it comes and goes. So does the wind. It doesn't rain every day. So if you're waiting for it to be sunny all the time, unless you live in Florida like me, then probably not going to work out, right? Eric, I hope that answers your question as well. Same thing for you, Josiah. If you guys have other questions, just drop it in. I'm here doing cardio. I'm here to hang out. From one coach to another, well said. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Discipline triumphs all. Yeah, because it's just like, how could you possibly expect to operate at a high level and be a high level person if you're just like, I don't really feel like doing it today, so I'm just not going to do it. It's like, it doesn't make any fucking logical sense whatsoever. Oh, yeah, I don't really feel like answering my clients today. So, the paying customers that I had, sorry guys, I don't really feel like doing it today. Make the analogy of your job, right? You guys have jobs, I would fucking hope. You call your boss, hey man, I just don't really feel like coming in today. You're like, shut the fuck up. What do you mean? You're going to get fired if that's the case, right? You enroll in school, you go to college. I don't really feel like going to class today. Well, then you're going to fail the fucking class. Enough of that. What are some good books that you've read recently? Another good question. Here, I'll show you guys. I just dropped that one. Well, I think I almost just broke my treadmill. Give me 1 second here. That was crazy. I'm reading this book right now. It's called Do the New You by Stephen Furtick. I really, for those who can see it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, right here. I've recently been really working on getting closer to God and developing my faith. That's been something that has been really at the forefront of my life the last, probably say, few months. Since I had that hospital scare back in February, I really contemplated and reflected on a lot of things because I saw in that moment, for those who don't know, back on Valentine's Day, I don't want to call it a heart attack, but it was like heart attack-like symptoms. And it was really, from what we gathered, a panic attack, a stress-induced panic attack, and anxiety attack, whatever you want to call it. I went to the hospital for 3 days. They ran every test under the sun, EKG, CAT scan, everything. And they didn't find anything wrong with me. There was no blood clot in my lung or heart or anything. So I'm healthy, knock on wood, which is good. But, the few days that I was there, I saw like how, truthfully, life is a gift and a privilege. Nothing is promised, right? So if that's the case, like there has to be a reason that I'm here, a reason that you're here. There's a calling and there's something that you're supposed to do with your life. Like you're not just here just to exist and to just get by. I don't believe that's the case for anybody, right? So if you're listening right now and you're contemplating that, like, what is my purpose? What is my why? Why am I here? I think really developing a relationship with God and asking some questions like that and practicing your faith could help you find some things that really can make sense for you. Now, I'm not somebody that's, sitting up here saying I have all the answers, but the reason I'm sharing that is because when I was forced to reflect and slow down, I didn't have a choice but to try and figure out what that is. I'm like, well, if I'm still here, right? Like, why didn't I die that day? And it was just a lot of questions that I started to ask myself and get curious because I was forced to slow down. I couldn't work in the hospital bed. My girlfriend was there. She's like, you're fucking crazy. I'm literally answering clients and shit in the hospital bed, running my team from my phone. She's like, slow the fuck down, and I'm like, all right. So then I did. And I started really getting curious. Why am I here? What am I trying to do? Why am I trying to do that? How does that make me feel? Right? So to answer that question, I know that's a loaded one and we could probably spend like an hour on that, but I hope that makes sense. I wanted to ask some questions about your coaching. Fire away. I'm all here, man. I'm all ears. Alex, what's good, man? Good to see you, brother. About the walking pad. Yeah, I'm just getting some steps in. Got a little change of pace today. It's Friday. I'm feeling different. I'm feeling crazy. I pulled back on the live streams. I was talking to Sophia about that before. I used to do a lot of live stream podcasts, but now I'm transitioning. I've been really working on having more conversations with other coaches, and I recorded actually a few podcast episodes this week with, actually maybe over the past 2 weeks. So the good buddy of mine, Danny, we had a good podcast last week. I sat in the other day on one of my buddies, Alex, who's an IFBB pro. He also lives in Boca, so I went to his house the other day. Today's Friday. I think we did that on maybe Wednesday. He just edited that. I think he posted it on his page. Me and Chelsea did one the previous week as well, her podcast. So I haven't posted one on mine, but I've been a guest on 3 different podcasts last week. And then today I'm working on scheduling another one with a friend of mine who's coming over in person as well. So that's 4. So just here hanging out with you guys. Meeting all those, bro. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate you, man. Have a great day. And I want to see you fucking check in this week. Okay? Do your fucking check-ins. Love you. Any tips for a beginner bodybuilder who wants to compete? Oh, yes, sir. Here we go. I actually made a post about that. I did a whole written post. So if you go to my Instagram and you scroll down maybe like a week, I could send it to you as well. But I had a whole step-by-step like checklist essentially for questions to ask yourself before you go ahead and do that. Because I want to be very honest, like bodybuilding is not for everybody. It's just not. It is something that is very extreme. It takes a very specific type of person to practice that level of discipline that consistently. Just for context, for my last prep, it was almost 6 months. And during that 6 month time, I did not have one sip of alcohol. I did not have one restaurant meal. I was doing an absurd amount of cardio. I was training 5 days a week, every week, without fault, did not miss. I also would pose for at least an hour every single day. I prepped all my own meals. And while I was doing that, I actually moved from my home state of New York to Florida while doing that. So in that moment, I realized that I could fucking do anything and that anybody could do whatever they wanted if they truly applied themselves. But what I'm saying is, it is definitely something that is extreme and it definitely requires a lot of effort. So if you're somebody who is like kind of on the fence, I guess you could say, of training, you don't have a solid foundation built yet, that's where I would start. I think before you compete, you should have a minimum of like 3 to 5 hard years of consistent training under your belt, or don't even bother. Ideally, you should have a coach. Ideally, you should have a very solid foundation of both nutrition and tracking macros. And having the money, I think that's also another one that people don't really talk about when it comes to competing. It's a lot of money, dude. It's definitely a big financial commitment because you're going to need the gym membership. You're going to need the travel accommodations, the hotel, the show fee, the tanning, the supplements, the coaching, the posing. There's a lot that goes into it that you don't see. So you can check out the post. I could send it to you, but there's a lot to consider. Is what possible? Upgrades. Taylor, what's good? Courtney, what's going on? Sorry, I'm not trying to throw up. Who's over here on Facebook or LinkedIn and YouTube? I'm not sure. Just keep the questions coming. I'm here. I'm getting steps. I'm hanging out. I got about another 10, 15 minutes. Is what possible? Upgrades. This guy's funny. Do you guys know what I'm sipping on right now? Did you guys take a wild guess by the looks of the mug? Mr. Asian Boy, does that answer your question? I hope so. Taylor, what's going on, you savage? Who else has got questions for me? Don't be shy, man. Don't be shy. Come on down. Come on down. Daily caffeine intake. I don't exceed like 300 to 400 mgs. So a cup of coffee is like 100. So I usually have maybe one cup of coffee depending on if I'm training or not. Training days 300 to 400. Rest days 100 to 200. So rest days I will only have 1 to 2 cups, no pre-workout. Training days I'll usually have 1 cup and pre-workout, and I never consume past like 2 to 3 p.m. because I know it does not positively impact my sleep. And I'd rather drink most of my caffeine from coffee as opposed to pre-workout because it's definitely less processed with less ingredients, and that's always going to be my go-to, really, because I think a lot of people don't understand this, like the importance of your gut health and your gut microbiome and the stuff that you put into your body every single day 100% matters, especially long-term. If you're constantly doing a lot of supplement powder products and processed foods, like you're just killing yourself from the inside, and it could have and create so many issues down the road. So I think my personal recommendation, what I've seen work well for myself and a lot of clients, is not exceeding that 300 to 400 milligram mark per day and cutting it off at a reasonable time, and ideally getting it from mostly coffee. So I hope that makes sense. And another thing, to prevent headaches and dehydration, you want to try to delay your caffeine intake about an hour, hour and a half first thing in the morning. I know it's difficult for some of you guys to hear that because you're like, first thing you fucking do is load up the espresso machine and start cranking it out. But give yourself time to like wake up, get some water in your system before you do that. It's very important. John, thank you for the follow, bro. I appreciate you. Dre, what's going on? Hope that helps you out. Sophia, what's your favorite part of competing? Knowing that I'm working harder than you. Truthfully, honestly, it's like knowing that another grown man is trying as hard as he can to beat me, and I still beat him. That shit fires me the fuck up because I've always been an athlete. So it's always like, hey, we're playing the same sport, we're doing the same thing. We have the same time essentially, and we're looking to have the same outcome. But I work harder than you, and I beat you. So it's like you could sit there and try to argue all you want. Oh, well, this, and that. But at the end of the day, I've just proved that I'm better. And for me, like nobody could take that from you. And that shit that gets me going. And what's also really beautiful about that as well, it's a great question too, is that nobody could take that from me. And two, it's like I created that and I pushed myself to do that. So it's very rewarding and fulfilling. For me, some of the best days of my life is when I was a senior captain on the baseball team. We went to the state finals my senior year, won the Long Island Championship. That was really cool. First time in school history for us. And then graduating college, competing, those are like a few days that just really always stick out in my mind because those are all things that I applied myself to do, and it was really fulfilling and rewarding. So I hope that answers that one. Excuse me. Are you doing low steady state cardio right now? 100%. I do not run. I have not run in years. I personally hate running. It kills my joints, kills my knees. I was a baseball player and I was a catcher for a long time. So I don't really have much cartilage in my knees. So I don't like running at all. Plus with bodybuilding, doesn't really make sense for a building phase in an off season. Aaron, thanks for the follow. So I usually do about 8,000 steps per day, which is usually like 30, 40 minutes, depending on the pace. Speed, right now I'm on 1.7, not really, just a brisk walk. I don't do much incline stuff. Jen, you look like a Disney prince. Thank you. I guess that's a compliment. Appreciate you. I guess I didn't follow you, so I'm going to follow you back, Jen. Thank you. Hope you're having a great day. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm just getting some steps in, a little Q&A for the team. What is Tatiana? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. David just hit 3,000 hours of exercise activity. One of our clients just hit 3,000 hours of exercise activity. That's fucking nuts, dude. I have like 3 screens up. I got 2 phones right here, 1 MacBook, another laptop. What's my least favorite part of prep? The hunger cues the last month. The last month is definitely challenging. But I feel like, there's a caveat to that because the hair is herring. Thank you. It's mullet vibes, Least favorite part of prep is like the last month because the diet gets really challenging. The hunger cues really start to kick in. I would say the last few weeks, like all you could think about is food and you're just fucking starving. But you can't really complain because you signed up for it. That's like signing up for a marathon. I'm like, oh, fuck, man, this is so hard. Like, I hate running. It's like you fucking signed up for it. So, like, you can't complain. So that was my least favorite part. Keep the questions coming. I love this. Stephanie, I love prep so much. I can't wait to start mine again. I would agree. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into the first time around, but now I'm really excited because I kind of know what I'm getting myself into and I know what it's going to require. And I also am so tired of carrying body fat. It sucks because it's like I know I could be shredded and I'm choosing to carry body fat, which is like sometimes fucks with your head, but it's like I think in order to truly grow and develop as a bodybuilder and place and compete and do well, then you have to take time to grow and you have to give yourself and your body time to recover, because we can get into the whole central nervous system fatigue and hormone regulation and all this other shit. But at the end of the day, it's like you can't be constantly in a cutting and a dieting phase. I just don't see how you could really grow from that. Off season is hard mentally, but you got to get through the growing phase. I would honestly I definitely agree with that. I would almost challenge the people and say that the growing phase is definitely harder than the cutting phase, because in reality you could just pull your food down and increase the shit out of your steps and get pretty shredded. Like you don't really have to change much as far as training goes. But I think mentally knowing that you're purposely putting on body fat and seeing that fucks with you more than being shredded, because being shredded is fun. You look nice and defined, you feel vascular, you have all your veins coming in. Like I know for me, for my last show, when I started seeing veins in my legs, I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, fighting the hunger was so worth it. But it's like constantly taking the time to prep and eat and do all the dishes and clean up. It's exhausting. And plus you feel way more tired when you're eating more food because you physically have to eat it and then you have to also break it down too. So it's just like a whole different world. So I'm glad you can relate to that stuff. Interval runs recommendation. I don't run. I'm a bodybuilder, so I'm not somebody who's going to give you running advice. Fucking hate running. Lift with Lauren. What's up? Is it possible? I don't know. Anything's fucking possible. So I don't know what question that is. I'm going to answer a DM. What's up? How are you? I feel like I've been on here for a fucking half hour. How are we doing on time? Oh, yeah, it has been a half hour. See, I'm fucking good, man. Don't fucking come at me. I'm fucking good, bro. Any other questions? I'm actually fucking starving, so I would like to eat. If you guys have anything else, please let me know. Why do you guys ask to join as if I'm actually going to let you in right now? I don't know you. Why would I let you in my live stream? And I mean that in the nicest way. I'm a nice guy, I promise. You know, maybe if we talk a little bit, build some rapport, you tell me what you do, you know, maybe it would make sense. Do I do fasted cardio? I think fasted cardio is a myth, to be honest. I don't really see, I mean, you could look into the research. I think it's a bunch of BS. Can you flex and do the most muscular pose? I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not shredded, so I just don't feel like it makes sense. IG, you got anything else? Cool. All right, I'm going to pop off, guys. I need to go eat. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you have the best Friday ever. Chat soon. Peace.